Hey guys, so I'm going to come in here and do sort of a quick impromptu video, take a couple minutes. In the video I made yesterday, it was part of the challenge, a response to at Pastor Dow, and joining with him in a larger debate challenge that's worth $20,000. You can go look on his blog, look on his channel, my channel. You can get the details on that. But in the process, I mentioned real money and what real money is, and a couple commenters astutely recognized the value of silver and some of those things. And so what I wanted to do is just take a couple minutes here. You know, we talk a lot about biblical headship, masculinity, a lot about marriage and everything else, but there are other aspects that deal with masculinity and biblical headship besides just the marriage itself. And one of them is being a good steward of what the Father has given you, as well as being able to leave an inheritance for your sons. That's actually a commandment that we're to work toward. And then part of what happened yesterday prompted a good little discussion that's going on the side with some friends and myself on another platform, a Telegram channel that I have. And I guess I participate in that one, but I'm on Telegram. So you look me up on Telegram. I think it's Peter G. Rambo, or it might be Pete Rambo. I think it's Pete Rambo on Telegram. So hit me up. And anyway, certainly I appreciate all the comments that we've had on some of the other videos that I've done recently, and really the response has been overwhelming, much more than I anticipated. And I bless you guys, particularly the men that are taking a strong stand for righteousness and what Scripture has to say in that regard. But what I want to talk about for a few minutes here is silver. Particularly, I've been what would be classified as a silver bug for a number of years. When I was I was in my early teen years, and in a Boy Scouts program, my scout leader, in the process of me going after a merit badge for coin collecting, I attended a I attended a little coin collectors club and auction, and at the time I think I spent about $7 on an 1893 very nice looking Columbian Exposition $50. Now it is in my collection. I do not have that here right now to share with you. It's a beautiful coin, but that I had the bug after that, and ever since then in my teen years I've always been just a little along here there collecting silver. But I think there's some very important reasons why you should consider taking a look at silver. Now, according to our Constitution, silver is money. Silver's real money. In fact, I've got a little coin here that I got recently from Amex, the North American Mint, and I'll show that to you right here. Beautiful piece right here, where on one side it has a picture of the Torah, and it has some verses both in English and in Hebrew, addressing the fact that Yah calls unequal weights and measures an abomination, and that he calls silver and gold money. This is real money. And so this is a beautiful coin that has that expressed on one side, and on the other side it has something from the Constitution, where essentially Article 1, Section 10 says that lawful money shall be silver and gold. And in this country we haven't had lawful money since at least 1913, but maybe going back farther than that. If you like those, I'll put a link to the North American Exchange or North American Mint down in the links down below, because that's a cool way to have some tangible items in your hand. That particular coin has about a $8.50 premium, so it's a little more expensive over spot than a lot of things. But let me give you some reasons why you should be interested in silver. Number one, God says it's money. Okay. Number two, it's extremely useful. Silver is antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, and in that light, one of the things that we have done over the years, I added to our collection, and this is a fork that actually has been used to the point of being almost broken, and so I've just moved it into the regular coin collection as a storage of value. But price per ounce, it was a little bit extra because of the tooling, but we use silver forks because it's antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal. It's healthy to use silver, and this is a useful way to use it. Silver, most surgical instruments are silver plated, but we also find it in all kinds of electronics. It's extremely ductile, it's extremely malleable, can be used industrially in so many ways. And so the industrial uses of silver far outstrip what is currently being mined. And so the end result is that the supply chain, or the supply of silver on the planet, is actually going down. Okay. Now silver it naturally occurs in geology at a ratio of about 1 to 16 to gold. For every ounce of gold that you find, you should be able to mine in the same location or in similar locations about 16 ounces of silver. However, at the value, if you go look at current spot price, I think gold right now is running probably about $2,100 or $2,200 an ounce. I didn't look before I started this, but silver is currently in the $20 an ounce range. It's almost a 1 to 100 ratio difference. Occasionally it'll dip all the way down to 1 to 65 ratio difference. But for the most part, when it's way out of whack like this, eventually it has to fix itself. Part of the reason why silver is incredibly undervalued is an attempt to make the dollar looks stronger than it really is. Well, you can take a dollar bill and burn it up. You can take a dollar bill and print, additional copies, what have you. You can't do that with silver. You can't make more silver. This right here is a 1920, what's that say? 1943 walking, I guess they call this a walking Liberty half. So different types of silver out there to think about if you're going to put something in your collection. If you're just getting started, you need to study and understand the value of silver and understand that it is extremely undervalued, but it's also not a short-term investment. It's not a get-rich-quick kind of deal. It's going to be something that takes some time, and it's something wherein I think what you have to do is start collecting it for several lesser reasons than for wealth building or for building any kind of long holding. The first thing to do in terms of an economic slowdown or shutdown, if there's ever a real problem with the economy, one of the things, wow, look at that. Something's up with that one. I'll have to look that up. That's the date completely worn out. The date's completely off of it, a mercury dime. But if something ever goes incredibly wrong with the economy, what will happen is that that silver will have value again. In fact, at one point, a dime like this right here, this is just it's a Roosevelt dime. The date on it, I can't read it right here. It looks like it's in the 40s. Let's see, I can see it right there. Yeah, like 40, 45 or something. It's hard to read in the camera here. But a dime like that was the equivalent to a day's wages. And yet today, for $25, $28, you can go get a full ounce, which is 10 times the weight of that dime, or almost 11 times the weight of that dime. You can get it for $28 to $30. And so in terms of the value of silver, it's incredibly undervalued. There was a time in this country where 2 ounces of silver would buy you an acre of land. And yet today, 2 ounces of silver at the artificially suppressed price will hardly get you a steak dinner. So there's a lot there to consider. This at a day's wages, if you could buy a day's wages for $25, wouldn't you do that? I would do it all day long. What you should do though is should probably start out with what's called junk silver. This is going to be pre 1964 coinage. Coinage from that time frame. All of these are silver dimes from different dates in there. But that is a good place to start with dimes and or quarters. I know I've got a lot of things like that I just keep in. I've got this covered up because there's other information on here, but I just keep it in little pill boxes like this. And I was looking to see if I had some quarters or half dollar. I've got some other half dollars in this, but I don't have any quarters. I wanted to show you some quarters. Well, no, we do a couple right here. Something else that's really cool about this is that silver has this beautiful ring to it. It sounds very nice. It doesn't sound like, listen to that. It doesn't sound like the garbage that they print money in these days. And right here we're looking at a it looks like a 1964 that really was in pretty good condition. Got a little bit of stuff on it. And so it's classified as junk. It's not actually collector's material right here as a numismatic. Numismatic's the high end. I don't recommend that for anyone until you've really got kind of some holdings, and then you're smart enough and experienced enough playing to decide whether or not you want to hold some numismatics, which is going to be coins that are valued based on their rarity or based on other things that are of significance about the coin. Maybe it was a bad strike. Maybe it was its rarity. Maybe it's the particular design that is highly sought after by collectors, and so it makes it harder to get a hold of really pretty examples of it. But that's one type is going to be numismatic. I think you should start though with what's classified as junk silver, like I'm showing you right here. And then you would graduate a little bit to what would be mint rounds. That in this case, this is a silver eagle. You can also get 1 ounce coins like the Torah coin that I had here just a second ago. It's the same weight, roughly the same size, different designs. You can get these in all kinds of different designs. My preference right now leans heavily towards something that supports a brother that is Torah keeping, that is promoting silver as a means of storing wealth, as a means of passing on wealth, as a means of protecting assets, that sort of thing. But other things that you can get, there are lots of cool collectibles like this. This one right here is subdivided into quarter ounce divisions. It would be easy to bend that and break it if I wanted to use a quarter of an ounce instead of a full ounce. Pretty stagecoach silver, and this comes from, I forget what mint this comes from. Doesn't say on the mint. Somebody who knows more than I could put that in the chat down there. Other items that you can get as collectibles. This right here happens to be a 4.5 ounce coin. It looks huge. It's about the size of the palm of my hand. I'll hold it up here so you can see it up here for a second just to get an idea compared to my hand. It's about the size of the palm of my hand. Not very thick. It's actually not even as thick, I think, as this is. I could open this up if I wanted to show you, but this is 4.5 ounce. So there's some things that are pretty cool to collect, that are collector's items, and so things like that. The real reason though, the real goal is to build assets, to have a store of wealth, to have a means of negotiating and taking care of your family in a bad situation like grid down, or if things got really kind of hairy. Silver will retain its value. The dollar could collapse overnight depending on what happens in banking. I know they say, oh, never happen, and they're pushing for crypto, but the bottom line is this right here, I can hold on to it. I can touch it. I could taste it. It's actually not bad in that regard either, as far as just being safe too, because bacteria can't live on the surface. I've heard it said that you could take this and throw it in a gallon of milk, and the gallon of milk takes much longer to sour just because this kills bacteria, right? But I think that kind of gives a little bit there. As men, one of the things you should be doing is saving, storing some wealth. And one way to do that is with silver. Now, silver currently, I would say, is probably valued at 1/100th what it should be valued at. It could be 1/50th. Some would say silver should be riding somewhere around $500 an ounce. I argue that it should probably be a good bit more than that, based on history and based on other things that have happened along the way. But the bottom line is, this is highly undervalued, and at some point, if God says this is money, and if God says I hate unjust weights and measures, and if God says that all the silver and gold are mine, then the time will come when this returns to favor and returns to proper value, not the depressed value that is right now. So, your wife or your woman might say, hey, I bought it because it was on sale. Well, I do that with silver all the time, because I'm like, this stuff right here, it's so undervalued that it only makes sense when I can get my hands on an ounce here or there or somewhere else to grab it. A good friend of mine said that he's committed to buying an ounce a week. And that's what he does, is out of every paycheck he takes a little bit, and he has a local coin shop where he's able to walk in and pick up an ounce. I should be so disciplined. I look back over the years, and had I been, I probably would have a bigger stack than I've got now. But what I have done at multiple places is, when I have a windfall or a little bit extra cash or whatever, I will buy some. Each of my four sons has their own collection. Way back when we were still in the church, before I came to Torah more than 12 years ago, we were paid by the church to mow the cemetery every week, and so the boys worked for me to go mow the church that I was pastoring at, and then I would make them take a portion of their pay each week, and we would go down to the local coin shop, and they would buy silver, and that's how each of them started their collection. And some of them over the years have continued to add to that as they are able. One of those things that it's good to train your sons in discipline, and the sooner they start, the better. A friend of mine a little while ago told me that he buys a proof silver eagle every year for his sons at their birthday, and so each of them, by the time they're 20, they should reach the age of manhood. They should have a collection of 20 of these, and they may add to it themselves, but they should have 20 proof eagles that then they can choose to continue to add to that on an annual basis. Again, like another friend, I would recommend adding some every week. And that 450 right there is 4.5 ounces. That's not what I paid for that way back, but cool stuff. And I would encourage you to strongly consider, do some research, go find out a little bit about silver, and consider adding that to one of the things that you do as a man to help secure your family's future, to secure your family's financial present in the event of a meltdown or things going south, and just a fun saving habit that you can develop in your children as they get the bug and start putting stuff together. So thought I'd just come in here real quick and throw a little bit out at you, because it's a fun topic. It's something that I am passionate about. It's just not something that I've ever talked about, I think, here on the channel. And because I happened to bring it up yesterday in conjunction with the debate challenge that Pastor Dowell and I have out there to whoever wants to come try to secure $20,000. And you can go over to his channel, go to my channel, either one, and take a look at the videos related to that. We'll be happy to have anybody who wants to come debate, but you better bring your 20K and lay it on the table because that's going to be the prize. One or the other is going to lose 20,000. But I tell you, those who know me know that I don't gamble, and they know that I don't bet things that are not a sure thing. So I doubt we'll have any takers. Nobody out there has the spine to stand up and take a shot at this. But anyway, good stuff, and I look forward to hearing some stories from some of you guys about how maybe this is something that you enjoy doing already, or it's something that encourages you to take an additional step in securing your family's future and being consistent and persistent in weekly or monthly investing toward the well-being of your family, because that's what patriarchs do. That's what men do for the sake of their children and for the sake of securing their family's future. And I would encourage you in that direction. So fantastic. Like, share, subscribe. Would love to hear your comments. I thoroughly enjoy the interaction, and I look forward to meeting some of you guys face to face at some point along the road as we rebuild the kingdom. For King and Kingdom, I bid you shalom.